We got a guy in the back named Domenico. Let's let them up and see what they have to say. Do you know who Domenico is? Is that somebody you know, Pat?
I think so.
Domenico, welcome to Z Show. What do you got for us?
Hi, Z. How you doing, buddy? Hey, Patrick.
Yeah, of course. Hey, man. What's up?
Hey, you guys talking about
change your name? Dominic?
Well,
Is that Dominic?
Actually, Domenic. That actually is my name.
Dude, put your automatic volume thing on because you're breaking up. It's probably because your input's too loud.
Okay. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, your audio's a bit echoey and distorted. See what you can do about that. So who is this guy, Pat? What do you know about him?
Well, he's been on my panel a couple of times. We had a couple of conversations about, a variety of different topics. He's a pretty smart guy. You should have a conversation with him, Z. Maybe you can ask him yourself.
I see.
All right, but let's talk.
He's not a porn bomber, if you want to know that.
What's up, Domenico? How's it going?
Well, pretty good. I'm just hearing you guys talk about, the game that we play as humans. Either or, black or white, flat or globe. It's all fun. When we start experimenting and hopefully use our senses to describe whether or not the surface is what it is, let alone those two flashlights up in the sky.
I mean, do you need to use your senses, or can you use the principles of the scientific method and use, established methods to approach objectivity? Does it really have to be about your senses, or can we have methods to?
Sure, you could use reason. Yeah, you can use reason. I would hope that people would actually even question all those things, like your reason, your thinking, your feelings, from within, not from without, because those things could easily be misled. Any senses could be misled. So I'm looking at all the stuff down here, whether it's nature stuff or human stuff, man stuff, and I look up in the sky. I said, I don't see the same thing. So I don't see similarities. But then, of course, people like to use other people's stories, whether it's NASA or whatever, but that still doesn't give a clear-cut answer to an individual's experience. None of us that I'm aware of have been high enough to determine either way. If we're going to play that game of either or, black or white, opposed to many possibilities, opposed to just the limitation of negative or positive. Yin and yang.
Well, I don't know if anybody's, some people may straw man the argument into an either or, but I always say that something can't be an impossibility, and the globe is an impossibility. So I agree that's not either or, but when people say, well, I've never been high enough, or who's been high enough to tell? Well, there's other ways to discern a thing.
Yes,
people think, they'll say that to me. Well, who knows what it could be, because who's up there in space, and I've never been up there. And well, there's other ways to test things. There's other ways to measure. There's ways to experiment, and you can basically either prove or disprove a thing. And I think the globe has been thoroughly disproved and debunked, regardless of. I don't think you have to leave the ground to do it. But go ahead, Dominic. Keep going.
At that point, then, how does that serve oneself? I get it. We can use all kinds of different modalities. You can use the philosophy, the what, the science, the hows. You can even do other things to mathematical. You can even put colors to it. But again, how does that serve each individual person? Because I guess last time I remember, and you could take that with a grain of salt, we're at 7 billion people. So how would 7 billion people collectively or uncollectively say, well, whether it's flat or whether it's round? I get the whole ideal of Earth. Earth just means dry land. I get it. If somebody lives somewhere, they can turn around and say, okay, well, is it flat here? Well, we live near a mountain place. That's a lot of mountains. So would we call it very terrainy? I get it. This is where the either or, where somebody would turn around and say, let me talk beyond just the ideal of the glass half full, half empty. And that's when people start using discernment, as you were saying. But that's an individual.
Where's the thing, Dominic? Hold on. Here's the thing. You seem to be presenting it as an either or dichotomy, as a false dichotomy. I don't think that is the actual question. No, when you're basically just asking the age-old question, what does it matter what the shape is? You're just saying it in a more, fluid way, in a more eloquent way. But you're basically just saying, what does it matter? Which I would just ask a question back to you. What does truth matter? Some people say that truth sets you free. So when you really say, what does it matter? You're saying, what does truth matter?
Well, you have to ask me what my definition of truth is at that point.
Well, I don't know if you have to define truth. Doesn't truth stand on its own? Isn't truth just truth? And then not truth is not truth. Maybe call it a lie.
Isn't truth objective?
See, for me, guys, I use truth and both love it. They're energy forms. They're not what the senses can pick up. But then that's just me. Now, you can go and do a lot of seeking and philosophizing about things, but what most people talk about is probably being honest with the truth, being truthful to the ego, or true to the ego, the self. So do the investigation, know thyself. Then you realize there's an observer observing all, even that. But again, we use words just to describe things. Listen to the word. We use words to describe things, but that they're actually not there.
But there is a way to
Simple
discern.
So here's the thing, Dominic. Here's the thing.
Simple,
see,
objective
Dominic,
truth.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm muting.
All right,
Dominic is speaking a language that I've heard before. It's a language that I don't resonate with, but I'm trying to understand more and more. It's a language of first of all, it's a language of solipsism. It's a language of confusion. To me, it's a language that evidences an energy that's dissonant and disharmonious and is dysynchronous. But I don't want to disparage you, Domenico. I'm just stating that it's a language that to me is a language of darkness, because it basically is expressing a relativistic mindset, and a relativistic mindset is one that leads to certain outcomes that to me are let's say dysfunctional. It becomes moral relativism, where there really is no right or wrong, there really is no truth. But I'm just pointing out the mindset and the relativistic understanding displayed here this morning in this discourse, and the potential perils of it. Or just, it's kind of like whatever it is, whatever. Right is convention. Truth is just based on whatever the consensus is of the time. There's nothing really true in and of itself. Go ahead, Dominic. We're having discourse, brother.
I think Patrick was going to share something. Hi, Z again. I think Patrick was going to say something. No? Okay.
We're going to make this easy, Dominic. I'm going to get rid of Patrick, and I'm going to get rid of Notch so I could talk to you, and then you're not going to be distracted. It's all right, Pat. Calm down. I'll bring you up in a few moments.
I was just sharing, Z. But thanks. I appreciate that, I guess.
So where were you, Dominic, about telling me how there's really no truth? So why does it matter?
No, I was
just do what thou will. Go ahead.
I was just sharing my version of what I might perceive as truth, as an energy form. I wasn't saying there was no such truth. We do use words to describe things. That's where I was going with that on that, Z.
All right. Well, what do you perceive as truth?
Again, I'm playing with all my senses, and of course, a lot of those are perceptions. So somebody could say truth is, I see words or I see material things, and then I give descriptions to it, or one's existence, play with the game of life. And even that, you have to question, is it outside or inside? Again, we're playing with words. I'm playing with words at that point, see?
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Dominic? Kind of bring us into your world. You don't have to dox yourself, but why don't you bring us into you? Why don't you talk about you?
I'm more into ideals. It's not really about me. But if you want to have a private conversation about me, I'm okay with that. But when it comes to the public platform,
well, because it's funny, because people who present the same energy that you do consistently, when I ask them that question, always avoid it. I didn't ask you to tell me like where you live, your name, and who your fucking parents are. I just asked you to tell us a little bit about yourself, but y'all never do it.
I guess I'm consistent like those other people. I guess if you already know that.
Yeah, because it's easy, because then you could just hide behind your ideas, your conjectures, and you can present them in the abstract without ever giving a window into yourself.
Okay. I was sharing ideas. I don't know if I don't claim them as mine. They're just ideals that I experience, and I share a lot with you, Z. But I get it, Z. I'm hearing you.